Hey, welcome, everybody. It's another Saturday, time for another Great Maker Chat live stream. Each and every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific, I go live on YouTube and on Twitch. We're streaming on both platforms. We have three people in the back room I'm going to bring in here in just a minute. And from anywhere from 2 to 4 hours each and every Saturday, I stream. Makers from around the world drop in. They're welcome to promote whatever they're working on and doing. And I see Scott just popped in the back room. Sorry, Scott, I forgot to send you an invite. But anyway, yeah. I guess here we go. Yeah, that's all I can think to say. So let me bring everybody in order as they dropped in, and we'll get going, and we'll talk about pretty much anything and everything. Please like, subscribe, share, follow, and all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And let's see who we got here first. Hello, Matt.
Hey, how's everybody? Hey. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Astro Printer.
I made it in before Scott. Yes.
And Danny, how you doing, Danny?
How's it going, guys? Late arrival.
And we have Scott, Edge of 3D. Hello, Scott.
Hey, everybody.
I'll go.
Hey.
So I made it, Liam. I might be late, but I'm here.
Same here. I just dropped in just moments before you did.
My stuff behind me is cooler than your stuff behind you, but those spaceships.
What do you got that's cooler than I got? Come on. I can't see it. Jerry, make it full screen.
How about a lithophane?
That's old head. Everybody does
dragster.
Go away.
Very cool. That's the dragster that's not busted.
Oh, you're building with the racers. Nice.
Is that gas or is it battery?
It's electric. It's battery. It's all 3D printed.
Oh, it's electric. Oh wait, yeah. That's cool.
You're going to be at Murph then with that?
I am bringing them to Murph, and we are going to be racing them there. Just finalizing the sponsors. Some of them I can't talk about yet, but I do have Big Tree Tech that is going to be sponsoring a printer, a Pad 7, and an Octopus Pro with drivers, and we've got some other sponsors that are coming on board, so all that'll come out in the next few days.
I'll be
there. Since I was a kid, I had a Traxxas Rustler like 20 plus years ago. It was a lot of fun. Have you been testing it? Do you know like what kind of speed you're getting out of it?
We raced them at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival. We had 20 of them there racing.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
And Danny, you're new here this week. Tell everybody who you are and what you do. Welcome. Hey,
I'm Danny. I'm a new business out here in Layton, Utah. Just opened up here about 2 months ago. I'm called Double D Prints. I don't know. It's just a fun venture I decided to go for. I was in aerospace for about 15 years and just got tired of kind of the corporate life. So I've been 3D printing for about 3 years now. Been having a lot of fun with it. I like to just want to do something different and fun. I like that I can get kind of creative and innovative with it. I like to think that there's just a lot of fun challenges with this, and there's really no cap on it. You know what I mean?
Amazing. You can design anything and you can go print it after a while and have it right in front of you that quick. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love the idea of rapid prototyping and all other stuff. I'm just getting into the scanning and everything like that. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, from cosplays to car parts, you name it. Like I'm down to print it and make some cool. I've actually been teaching me quite a bit about lithophanes lately, which is a lot of fun. He's like, I feel like the apprentice to like the Jedi Master, you know.
I actually do prints for a custom motorcycle builder when they're trying out new tanks and fenders and stuff like that. I rapid prototype them 3D so they can test fit them to their bikes before they actually start pounding sheet metal and stuff. So
yeah,
actually
time and money, you know, versus them having to go through and do the injection molding or whatever, or even CNC machining. Even that to program it takes forever.
Yeah, they actually took one of my tanks and fenders, and they finished it out and painted it and showed it on a bike at an event a couple years ago. So the bike was there. It obviously didn't run because it was a PLA fuel tank, and it was, you couldn't tell. I mean, they skinned it and finished it and painted it and custom the paint job on it and everything. So
it's cool. Nice. Yeah, it's really incredible what you can do with this stuff.
Yeah.
So what's new with everybody else? Liam, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm in the process of editing a video on the assembly of the SainSmart Prover XL 4030. I'm putting together the video right now for that. So I have that CNC. I need to set up a space for it to do a lot more work on it, but I'm doing So I'm putting that video together now. I've recorded about 2 weeks ago. I just haven't had time to edit the video, so I'm working on it today.
Yeah, people that don't know, Liam, what do you do? Who are you?
I'm me. Oh, no.
He's an illegal alien
Yeah,
on Earth.
I'm into 3D printing, CNC, lasers. I've done a lot of reviews on various machines. My latest machine is a Prover 4030 CNC DXL. Got NEMA 17 or NEMA 23 motors on it, so it's good, solid build. But I do an awful lot of 3D printing. I do a lot for Toys for Tots. Every year I do a lot of printing for Toys for Tots. I haven't stopped since it ended last year. I've been non-stop printing for Toys for Tots for this year. So I normally last year I did about 2,000 toys. So I do a lot in that program. I love being involved in that program. I pretty much have one machine, and that's all it does. I buy spools of filament at 10K spools, stick them on the machine. When it runs out, put another 10K spool on, and then run again, and repeat. 24/7 is what I run. But so it's a really good worthwhile cause that I'm involved with. And that's run by IC 3D printers. So if you're going to be at the Midwest Rep Rap Murph this year, they're always there. IC 3D printers are always there. So go swing by and say hi to the guys there, because they do a lot of good stuff for charity as well as the filament that they manufacture.
Very nice. Anything new with you, Scott?
Well, the dragsters are official for Murph. Just getting some files cleaned up and finished up on those. These two printers right here are going to Murph, and I just got done installing clipper screens on both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And printing, well, as you can see, that one's printing right now, printing new body for that red one behind me. The body's cracked in a few places and stuff, so printing a new body out of the Polymaker Galaxy Red. And just trying to get everything ready for Murph. So
my Hypercube, it's a 445 Hypercube, 400 by 400 by 500. I put clipper on it about 6 months ago, and I have got a 0.8 nozzle, but I haven't tweaked any settings, so it's not printing properly. So I've got to figure. I've never worked with a 0.8 nozzle before.
You need to tweak the printer config, Jerry, to specify the nozzle size, and then change and modify it in your slicers when you slice the file.
All right. And then I got Orca downloaded for Bamboo. And it seems to me when I built that Hypercube, it's a Ziltech kit years ago, that a lot of people were taking a 2 Trees Core XY printer and modifying that. That way, a lot of the specs were the same. And 2 Trees is a printer that's in Orca that I downloaded this morning. And I had to get a hold of Liam, and I got a hold of somebody else here in town, Jason here in town. Liam answered me first. But when I went to GitHub, I was downloading the wrong thing, and they said to run the exe to install it, and I just had a bat file, which I couldn't run, and I was in the wrong area, downloaded the wrong thing, so luckily Liam helped me out there, and I got that installed. So.
Other than for, I have a profile tuned really well for the ERCF there on the green one in Prusa Slicer, so I still use that for multi-material prints, and obviously for the belt printers, when I'm running them on 45, for the 45 degree belt printers, and when I'm running the links on 45 degree, I still use Idea Maker. But outside of that, I use Orca for exclusively everything. And I occasionally put 0.6 millimeter nozzles on those 2 Mercuries over my shoulder there, but for the most part, I just print with 0.4s. I have a couple of CR10s that I use some bigger nozzles on. In fact, I go up to, when I'm printing garbage cans for my office, I use this CHT 1.4 nozzle here.
Yeah, you want to 1.4. What type of hot end are you using?
Heavily modified by QH2.
Okay, so it's
hey, Betty Boop.
That's
my wife, Randy, in
style.
another room.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need that for melting filament.
Yeah, well, it's a by QH2 that I've converted into a volcano hot end on it. So and it works well, but I like I say, for the house here in the office, I print garbage cans out of PET-G in base mode, and that 1.4 does it perfectly. So
Well,
Really
I know
hard
on the
layers.
bamboo, I've got a 0.6 and a 0.8 nozzle for the bamboo, but I've never tried them. But I do know when I put them on and I pick that nozzle in the slicer, it'll automatically tweak all the settings and it should print perfect out of the gate, where most slicers
Hey,
aren't
Pete.
like that.
0.6. Hold on. I'll show you what I did.
All right.
So I jumped over, I think it's called a Hosway, is the new hot end that they came out with for that. So that's 0.6. Just your right out of the box. This is really the only, it's really the only part that came out nasty.
Because
the
you
thing
have it.
Anything.
Did you turn on adaptive layer heights?
I did.
Yeah,
But-
because it looks like those steps are very tall for a point. Like
Yeah.
with adaptive, you should drop them down. When the curves, you should drop them down to a 0.1, so you'd have a nice smoother curve.
Right. But I really didn't touch anything because
Hmm.
I'd never used the 0.6 before in this. I just wanted to see how it would do. So I picked something cool. I threw it in there, 0.6. And I mean, you can see on the other areas, it's really, really nice. So
Wow.
0.6 is cool. And it cut the time down by probably 20% easily.
You can-
right out of the box.
What I would do is I would in your slicer drop your set a layer height to get a finer detail, and it doesn't because adaptive layering sometimes is good, sometimes it's not so good depending on the surface. And by setting the layer height, you can use the same layer height you use at a 0.4. You just get the 0.6 wall width, so your printing is still faster because you can do less walls. Like if you're going to do 3 walls, you can do 2 instead, right? And then but you keep the same layer height. That way you get to fine detail.
So actually, we were talking this morning. He's my other buddy. He's the other D in Double D Prints. But yeah, we were chit chatting this morning, and we were talking about there's a guy on printables. He goes by Adam L. He actually just went through and he dropped a whole bunch of basically slicer settings that are available. I grabbed one for some ASA just to see how it would work. Beautiful, right out of the box. Just load it up and go. So we were actually talking about maybe starting like a Facebook group or something like that. That could be like a repository for slicer settings for things like that, kind of like a one-stop. So, somebody can be like, hey, I'm in a jam. I'm starting this new kind of stuff or whatever.
Yeah, people having different hardware and different filament would affect that slightly, but having somewhere to start with would have most of it pretty close to being right. And rather than having no idea where to start and what to change, and at least having a profile would get you really close. And it may work great, and it may just need to be tweaked slightly.
You just have to do 2 versions, one for Bowden, one for direct drive. That's all you have to do.
Yeah,
really, in most cases.
There's a picture Kate sent me.
Yeah,
She
but I think the way it looks like future printers, it will be obsolete putting any type of information in. Like,
No.
I think the ultimate.
Nice,
I think in another 10 years time, in 10 years
I
time,
don't
we
agree.
will have printers. We will put basically STL file in, and it will calculate all the printing, what to do. You just punch in maybe what color you want and what material you want, and that's it. And then everything else does it for you.
I'm not sure I agree with you. And the reason why I say no is because filament is not filament. Every manufacturer may need tweaks because their additives they add to the filament is going to be different. Every climate you're in, whether you're in a dry climate like Arizona, or if you're up here in Michigan in summer where the air is so humid you could cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
It's going to be different, right? It's going to tweak your settings. So there's a lot kind of impact. Even the color of filament from the same manufacturer, going from a white to a black to a yellow to a red, you might get no stringing in 3 of them, and on the
Hello,
fourth
Richard.
one, you
Welcome
open
to
it.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I heard it's a fun place to visit.
So
That's
I don't think it's going to be
why-
as easy as you think.
That's why you get your stuff from Polymaker and
So,
from
okay, you're just
big
advertising now. Stop that. We're not here to advertise. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can advertise. I don't care.
Okay, right. But I'm just saying.
Everybody's welcome to plug whatever you want, as long as it's not R-rated.
Not everybody buys Polymaker, right? Not every like I don't buy Polymaker. I don't. I've used it.
G-Tech is good too, and EU1 is also good too.
Well, I have
EU1.
other materials that I use other than Polymaker that I find better.
Polymaker is awesome. The only thing I don't like about their website is like going to the chip aisle at the grocery store. Oh my God, what do I buy? There's too many things to look at. That gets confusing if you're in a hurry. It's like, do I want this? Do I want that? But that's fine. great variety. It's just
I mean,
kind
they're
of
the
overwhelming.
biggest filament company out there.
No, I wouldn't say that.
With eSun, I would say too.
There's others out there who are bigger.
But as far as I know, Polymaker has the most filament lines.
They may have a lot more colors and selections, but there's bigger companies out there because there's only like you can count on two hands the number of actual real filament manufacturers in the world, and most of those make for other
5 companies.
and they rebrand it.
Well, Polymaker's just a brand of another company anyway. JF Polymers is the parent company.
Yeah.
Here's something I printed on the bamboo last night. I reprinted it. It goes on my CNC. My Makita spindle goes in here. My dust boot goes here. And then I added my brush, which I took off the old one, and I threw it away because the magnets I got off Amazon weren't tight enough to hold this dust boot on properly, the 2mm magnets. And I'm going to get the word wrong, so if you know how to pronounce it, tell me. The
neodymium is the word.
Neodymium magnets I reordered. They'll be here sometime today, and hopefully they'll have a lot more grabbing strength to hold that boot on. But it was really cool. Instead of going on Etsy and paying $60 for this part with the brush already on it, with a hose clamp on it, it's cool that you guys found the file on Thingiverse and go print it out in a couple hours, and I got the exact same part. So it was a fair price on Etsy if you didn't have it yourself, but if you can print it yourself, that's awesome.
Yeah, the neodymium N-base number, which is the level of attraction on rare earth magnets, it's the pulling force, right? Is higher. So the higher than the N number is, the more attractive force the materials have. And just when you do put in the magnets, make sure you flip the polarity so that they actually do attract and not repel.
I put two together and I take a Sharpie and I mark the back side of both because yes, I'll get them backwards. So I just mark them with a Sharpie and then I slide them apart. And you don't have to worry about it. If you drop it, it's going to stick to something metal. So
well, if you drop it, it'll probably crack. So those rare earth magnets are very brittle.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Even letting them
Did you ever see two of those colliding? You ever see two big magnets hitting each other? No. They smash into each other. They break and they spark all over the place. That's how strong the force is between them. You get sparks and everything coming out of them when you collide them. Yeah, when they hit each other. And the larger, really high-end force ones, they're very, 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 very hard to pull apart. Some of the larger ones are virtually impossible. You see them using those type of magnets in an enclosure when they do. You've seen them do magnet fishing online.
I heard you can get a blood blister if you're not careful on your finger.
From what?
The two magnets slamming together. If your finger's in the way, you might get a blood blister out of it.
These are N54s that I just slapped together.
Some of the bigger ones, you get really large ones, and if they hit each other, you'd break a finger if they collide.
It's not, the camera's not going to focus, but these are N54s that I just let slap.
They're the strongest. 54 is the strongest you can get with neodymium.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just dropped it, but you can see it shattered the top right off that magnet because just sitting here messing with them, I let them snap together and it just ruined two of them in that.
Yeah, they crack. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're very, very, very brittle, but neodymium is the strongest. There are other rare earth magnets, rare earth metal magnets, but they're not. They don't have the pulling force as strong as neodymium.
I have found there's a guy. I think the name of his company is Magnet Baron. His website is Magnet Baron, and his N54s are real N54s. They're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Zach popping in, he calls himself Zach Ass. Hey Zach, how's it going?
Goes the neighborhood. Hey Zach.
How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Zach.
What's up, man?
Yeah, Zach. Thank you. I didn't mean. I can't hear you. You're muted.
The way we like it.
You're going to take that from him? Go get him, Zach. Go get him.
No, Zach knows I'm joking with him.
Yeah, Zach and Liam both helped me out on things, and I really appreciate being able to message people when I have stupid problems and I can't solve them, and it's like right in front of me. But I appreciate the help.
So I was going to say, Magnet Baron, he sells some really cool stuff.
Yeah, like I say, I have found that for consistency and real honest to God ratings on the magnets, the guy he goes, like I say, I think the name of his website is Magnet Baron. he has good stuff. It comes at a price, but he has
I've
good
always
stuff.
used K&J magnetics. They've been around for
They're good.
God 10 years.
Yeah,
least.
I don't have any experience with them, so I can't speak to them. But I have
Yeah, if you
purchased
need
some
something
Magna
weird
Bearing.
and Magnet Baron doesn't have it, check out K&J.
Okay.
I have a local supplier who does stuff for schools. They supply materials to schools, and they often have materials. Hey,
Hey,
Thomas, how are you?
Thomas, how's it going?
Question,
So I
guys.
go to them. It's called Arbor Scientific. They're in Ann Arbor. They're about an hour's drive from me.
Yes, Matt. What's up?
Is there any refresh button in the Bamboo Studio slicer?
Nope. It should auto refresh.
No, mine doesn't.
That means it's not talking to your printer, probably.
Yes, talking to my printer, but
What are you building, Zach?
So this is, you guys
Thanks
are
for
going to
that.
find this hilarious. What does this look like? This, I mean, it's
It looks like a Cartesian, but there's no y-axis on it yet.
it's a Cruciber basically.
Okay.
Everything you see here is 100% stuff I had laying around.
Zach got a haircut.
He got a mall cut.
It's gone. So yeah, this I had 100% of this laying around. I've got one of the Y rails. I've got the bed. And I've got the Raspberry Pi to go to Duet 3. This is just
Frank
out of my
Franklin.
spare parts stash. So I spent about $100 on Amazon to get one more rail, the the Y axis plate, and basically have a $1,000 Cruciber for $100 that showed up today.
Nice.
Why are you
Your
buying a
rails,
blade
too.
why are you buying the blade when you can cut one and work?
Starting a new job Monday.
Oh, you've left the other company?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the new job?
Doing the same thing, but aerospace instead of shipyard.
Okay.
What are they?
$7 an hour raise.
Wow.
Yeah, and half the commute.
Very nice. Are you allowed to talk about what kind of airframe you're going to be working on?
I have no idea. I'm a CNC programmer, so
Gotcha. Okay.
Your old
Good.
company, they made drive lines for ships, right?
yeah.
What does the new company make specifically? Is there or multiple things?
They do a lot of aerospace prototyping, helicopter blades.
Oh, nice.
They do models for the wind tunnels at NASA Langley, that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
A lot of 5-axis work.
With all the technology they have nowadays, and if you want to go float like you're in space, they got to take you up in a plane really super high, and then you can float around the jet like you're in space. Why can't they recreate that on the ground with some kind of a machine?
Can't you overcome gravity?
I don't understand why they can't make a machine to do the exact same
Can't
thing on the
overcome
ground.
can't
gravity.
make anti-gravity.
So there's two different ways you could look at it. Number one, the when you're simulating zero gravity, it's because the plane is falling as fast
Yeah.
as you would be were you
It's a
out.
parabolic trajectory. You're doing a
Simulating
parabolic maneuver is what you're doing on the
Right.
plane.
Oh,
So on the ground, the closest you can get is the indoor skydiving thing.
Yeah, because that's forcing a fan.
which is a big
What-
fan that blows you up and you
Right.
sail. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's not really zero gravity.
no. So
No.
what's happening in the plane, Jerry, is they fly up to an altitude, and then the plane pitches over and then dives down, and you and the plane are falling at the same speed. So
Oh, I
there's
didn't know that. I
basically
thought
zero
if you went
G.
high enough, you're on the edge of space
No.
where everything becomes buoyant.
No.
Just to
So
follow the boat.
you're both falling at the same time, so basically it negates the effects of gravity, and because you're falling at the same time, you get a feeling of zero G. And when you get to the end, they have to pull up again, and you feel more G's as they rise again. And then they come over the parabola again, and then they drop down, and then you're both falling at the same space.
All right.
It's
Here's
like
another
you're in an elevator.
Here's
you're
another
falling in an
picture
elevator.
from Kate. Let me share this picture that Kate designed because she sends me things in email.
That's
And they appear to be walnuts that she
They
made
are
a little
walnut shells,
fireplace
yeah.
and made everything in there. Probably
Hey,
out of
Zach.
clay. What's that?
I was going to ask Zach how far he is from Wattsville, Virginia.
What's the name of the place?
Wattsville?
Yeah, so they call that, Jerry, the vomit comet, because they do this.
Oh, that's Wallops. I'm like 2.5 hours from Wallops.
Okay.
Well, I imagine if you're in an elevator that's falling, you're going to stick to the ceiling, would be my
No.
assumption. And
Well,
then
no,
before it
because
hits the
it makes
bottom, you need
both
to jump
accelerate
really
at the
quick.
same speed.
So
So when you accelerate at the same speed, you feel 0G.
Okay.
there was going to be a launch from Wallops Island that was going to be on a weekend, and I ended up not going because there was a good chance of them scrubbing for weather.
Well, I've got a C-130 that I've got to pick up from Wallops there at the airport at Wattsville.
Yeah, I mean it's like 2.5 hours away. That's up
You have to pick up your pilot.
Yeah, we're not going to fly this one out of there. We're hauling it out on
Okay.
2 semi-trucks. We're actually 3. We're taking the wings off and the tail off, and we'll transport the fuselage, the wings, and the tail all separately.
I remember seeing that video of Afghanistan, the C-130, I think it was, when the load shifted. The plane had just taken off. The load shifted to the back of the plane, went straight up and down, went straight into the ground backward. That was horrible.
That was a 747.
It wasn't strapped in, yeah.
That was just God.
Yeah, that was a 747. So
It was strapped in. It's just it wasn't strapped in right. The straps broke.
Yep.
Crazy.
Straps broke, and on acceleration and rotation, the straps broke on the front cargo, and it slammed into the rear cargo and broke it loose and shoved it all to the rear of the aircraft, and it just became
tailed down.
Very, very extreme aft center of gravity, which made the aircraft uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember right, the load damn near shot out the ass of the plane.
It was only barely contained by the rear pressure bulkhead, but it did penetrate the rear pressure bulkhead.
Yeah.
And Sebastian, you're
it's a
correct about what you
C-130,
said.
Kate, and I'm
Yes, Sebastian.
transporting it to a customer in Texas.
Sweet. So yeah, Sebastian, your description is almost right, almost 100% correct. You're falling to Earth always, but you're moving so fast laterally you keep missing Earth. That's what being in orbit is.
If anybody here has any links you want me to post on screen for anything that you're doing, throw them in private chat and I'll post them.
Actually, gentlemen, I got to bounce. I promised my wife I would fix her car. So before
Thank you for coming.
What's the matter with the car?
thank you for having me. What's that?
What's the matter with the car?
It's got some cam sensors that took a dump. So I got to do that. I got to switch out the cam sensor, the crank sensor, and it needs an oil change. We're getting ready to sell it. We're going to get something a little more.
All right. Well, I'll be streaming today 2 to 4 hours. So if you have time, you're welcome to stock back in or next week or whatever. Very nice meeting you, and you're always welcome.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. It's nice talking to all you guys.
Okay.
Nice meeting you, Danny.
All righty. We'll be seeing you guys around.
Bye-bye. Very cool. Yeah, my sister.
Another reason I didn't just cut that at work was that plate was $27, and it's got a finish on it. Like, you can't beat that.
And if you're busy at work doing work stuff, you can't always drop it and say, "Here, can I do this?" You got to get permission, I'm sure, right?
Well, yeah, that for sure. But $27,
yeah, can't beat it. Yeah, Kate says that I am at Fort Bragg. Sorry, Fort Liberty now. I have a lot of C-130s and C-141s and C-5 and C-17s here. Cool. I live probably about a half mile from Ellis Air Force Base. I go out of my development, turn left, and the base is right there. So I get jets that fly over my house daily.
I get a lot of helicopters. I get some planes, military planes flying over, but not a lot. There is a couple of bases here in Michigan. So
I live like 5 miles, 6 miles from Langley Air Force Base. So
my nearest military Air Force base is probably about 40 miles away.
So the funny thing is, a couple of years ago, I was living in Panama City, Florida, just a couple miles from Kendall Air Force Base, which is where Raptor School was, where you went to learn to fly the 22s, and got hit by a hurricane. That's what eventually led us to moving to Virginia. And within 6 months of us moving to Virginia, they announced they moved Raptor School to Langley. So we're once again 7 miles away from the Raptor School.
Hello, Tech Dad. How you doing? Crop dusters. All right. Yeah, for some reason, when I'm sleeping at night, it seems like Nellis Air Force Base, there's really big planes taking off because you can hear them screaming, you hear the rumble, and it's like, why do they have to do that all night long?
That's why I refuse to live near an airport.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so used to it now.
So to answer your other question, Jerry, yes, I am also a pilot, and anybody that goes searching hard enough finds my Facebook page, you'll see some of my adventures there. I tried to sneak into work one day in a helicopter and got caught by one of my guys coming in late, so that doesn't work too well. But yeah, I have a couple airplanes and I also fly. So
Did you see the court case about the young YouTuber?
That jumped out and let the plane crash in California.
Well, he intentionally crashed the plane. There was nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And what's worse was he jumped out, parachuted down, and this was all for a wallet.
Yep.
For a sponsorship for a wallet.
yeah, Ridge Wallet.
Yeah, so the plane crashed.
Yeah.
He hiked over to the plane after he got to the ground in his parachute. Got all the SD cards out of it because he had it all kitted out for recording.
Yeah.
Pulled out all the SD cards. 2 days later, reported it that he crashed the plane, and why. Give a false report about the crash. Then went back a few days later after reporting. He went back in, chopped the plane up, hauled the plane out of there, chopped it up, and destroyed it.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be found. And then when the FAA were in there looking for it.
Yeah, he had his door open before he shut off the engine. He didn't call for a mayday. Everything is being filmed. As he jumped out, in fear of his life, he had a selfie stick in his hand, which calm as can be. So yeah, it was obviously all staged.
Well, and also, okay, so I have a newer version of the Taylor craft that he was flying, but still the same principle. If the engine dies, the propeller is going to keep spinning, right?
Because of forward motion, yeah.
If you actually watch the video closely, after he pulls the mixture, actually he didn't pull the mixture. He shut the fuel valve off, and after the engine started to die, he actually pulled the plane up into a stall to get the airspeed low enough over the prop to stop it from windmilling. And at that point is when he started his bailout, but he had already popped the door while the plane was still making full power. He'd already popped the door and was preparing. You could see him taking his seatbelt off and everything. He's never released the video camera that was over his shoulder, which was a wide angle GoPro. He's never released that. But you can see by his arm motions where his hand goes is right down where the fuel valve is at, just under the instrument panel on that Taylor craft. He cut the fuel off and just waited on it to starve on fuel. That way, if the FAA didn't find the airplane, it would still have the mixture full rich. And as the plane, once the engine died, he turned the fuel back on, pulled the plane into a stall to stop the propeller from windmilling, and then begin his bailout. And he all did it for YouTube views. And now he could get up to 20 years in prison.
He is
for
pleaded
that.
guilty.
Yep.
They dropped his charges.
Reduced them.
He could still get up to 20 years, right? But and a huge fine. They've revoked his flying license. They have. He crashed into a dry brush area. So if there was a fire after the crash, he could have wiped out hundreds of miles of forest.
Oh yeah.
So
very much
he's in for a serious slapping. He is.
Yeah. Like I've said before, I'm afraid of heights. Yet I worked in many high rises in construction. And as long as I can put my arm around something and I know it's not going to move, I feel safe. It doesn't bother me looking over the edge. I went skydiving twice out of a small Cessna, and it was a blast getting out of the plane. The chute opened up. I was on a static line. I was on a static line, opened the chute. They had a radio talk me down, but it was a blast. It was nice and breezy. I was wearing sunglasses that didn't blow off my head. I've been in a hot air balloon once, chopper a couple times. I love the hell out of it, but I'm afraid of heights. If I see some of these shows where they're overseas and they're driving on these roads up in the mountains and the road's only just as wide as a vehicle and it's a big long drop off, that would literally scare the crap out of me, and I would have to walk. I couldn't drive that. It's just, yeah, I don't like to drop off.
Well, my oldest boy, who's not even 30 yet, just bought a brand new helicopter, and so obviously he's a little more successful in life than I've been. So,
Nice, very nice.
I can't
He
afford to
hurt
own one.
nobody.
Hell, I can barely afford to fly somebody else's. But
Yeah, I told my son, I said, when are you going to get a real job so you can buy Dad a new house or buy me a new truck? He does IT at a casino here in town. He makes good money, but not enough to hook me up with anything fancy.
So the poor boy's asking about who did he hurt. He didn't hurt anybody. It doesn't matter. He falsified reports.
Yeah,
He intentionally crashed an aircraft. He lied to the FAA.
Yeah.
And the other reporting bodies.
it was obvious, even if nothing
Yeah.
came of it, by looking at the video footage, that it was done on purpose. Just looking at the footage, you could
He
tell that
could have got 40 years, but he's now pleaded guilty, but so to a lesser charge for falsifying a report or something along those lines. They haven't sentenced him yet. I think sentencing's
Yeah.
coming up next month.
Well, really, there's no reason to be afraid of heights, because if you fall, you're not going to know it even happened. You'll hit the ground.
It's a sudden
flat.
stop at the end is a killer.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
the
don't
fall,
need
the fall doesn't hurt you at all. It's just the sudden.
Daddy
pop
Walty,
at the
hello,
end.
hello.
Hey, yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if this print turned out.
Let me change cameras here and we'll take a peek.
See if I can get it peeled off there. That looks like it'll work.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
It's good.
Take a little heat gun to it to get rid of the white, and
Justin's at work. He won't be here today.
got a nice side panel for the dragster.
Nice.
Now we know who's sponsoring that one.
No, actually, Hector's not sponsoring the dragster this time around. He's actually the guy that built the dragster for West 3D at Rocky Mountain is building one for Hector. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, Hector's not sponsoring my dragster this time.
How does that dragster handle on asphalt? Does it have soft tires? Do you got TPU tires or hard tires? Because I'm thinking on asphalt, hitting the rough road, it might jump around.
Where are they? 80? Oh, they're 75.
Okay.
Are they 75 or 65?
The inner core of the tire is 90, and the outer core is 60.
Okay, so it's, yeah.
So it's 90 on the inner core.
How did you print that?
What's that?
How did you print that with an AMS unit?
No, two separate pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, AMS units won't.
No.
Hell, an AMS
I know.
unit will barely work with a Shore 90. You try to run Shore 60 in it, you're just going to have a massive problem.
Yeah. On a bamboo, you'd have to run a single roll off the back of the machine. If you try to run it through the AMS, probably wouldn't work too well.
Yeah, it prints TPU pretty well, but not with AMS.
Well, because it's direct drive, yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you turn off retractions in your settings, you're fine.
Hey,
You have
Liam,
retractions on, you're asking for trouble.
a few days ago when I went to turn on my Hypercube after 6 months, because I got so many hobbies, I start something and then I move on. I don't complete what I started on anything usually. I bought a new modem like a month or so ago, and I forgot to set it up in Clipper. So I took out the micro SD card. I went into Notepad++, and I edited my new numbers for my new modem and password. But what I didn't realize, and it was right in front of my face, and I asked Zach, and he kept telling me over and over. And then I got it through my head after 5 or 6 conversations. There was a big long line that Clipper had put in there because I configured that originally in the Clipper software. A big long line of text underneath that password and the modem address.
He had two PSK entries, is what it was.
Anyway,
Oh,
once I deleted it, it was fine. And that solved it. And then my computer could see it. Then I could go into RadOS and pop right up. But then I tried to print with an 08 nozzle, making no changes just to see what would happen. And on the right side looked like speed bumps. It did print okay, sort of. And then I had some big speed bumps, and I didn't tweak anything, so I need to configure it because Tom Lama came out with a big dust collector for my Cyclone, and I wanted to print this part in one piece right here, but I couldn't, so I cut it in half in Netfab, and I put it on my iFast, which I'm printing another half of it. And then on the Bamboo Labs, I printed these in True Cement Orange. Let me change my camera here. Now, this is something that really irritates me. On Bamboo Labs, at 97%, it had spaghetti detection went off. and I had a few pieces of filament up here, and I tried to resume it, and it was too high. It was like, I don't know, a quarter of an inch in there, maybe a little bit less. So rather than reprinting this right away, I want to get all the other parts done, put it together, and see how big of a gap I have. That way, if it's something I can fill it, or if I have to go and reprint this part. But it was doing great, and for some reason it screwed up. So,
Well, Jerry, you can measure the height with calipers, and then drop the part through Z, and then print whatever's above that. Slice it off.
I don't know how tall this is supposed to be. I can drop
No.
the
You're not. No, would you bring the part in at the right? It's scaled into your slicer, right?
You measure
And then
it.
measure the height of that, and then measure the height and slice off the bottom of it, and then put it on the rest of it on the bed, and then when you print them, you just glue them together.
Well, as soon as that screwed up, then I loaded these two parts, and they completed and printed perfectly fine. It's just really odd that on bamboo, which rarely happens, it screwed up at the 97% done. So, and it's not actually, you can't really tell the brightness, but these are really super orange. It's not showing up on camera. But these are so bright, they almost hurt your eyes. They're so bright.
I might be looking at that because I'm looking for that. You might just tell me where the files for that, because I'm going to be putting in I'm putting in an extractor, a dust extractor in my garage. Not the big one that you have, the smaller version.
Okay, if you want to use a shop vac, which you shouldn't run hours on end.
No, I want to use a proper
I
extractor.
went to Harbor Freight and I bought their red bucket and I bought their little dust extractor for like $30 a Bauer. And it works great shop vac size. But because that 2-horse big unit I bought from Harbor Freight, their dust extractor is so big, I'm going to print this version out from Tom, a giant size. So it's just fun being able to print your own things instead of going out and spending a couple $100.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I want to do the same because I don't want the dust going into the dust bag. I want it going into a bucket so it's easier to maintain.
Yeah. With the bucket version that I have now in the garage, I cleaned up my shop vac filter really good because they're like $25 a piece, as you know. On my rigid vacuum, nothing, not a speck of dust goes in the vacuum. It all goes in the bucket. The way I have it hooked up now, but I can't run that hours on end. And then that print I done the other day, I printed out an eagle, and about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I started the print. And I was using Carbco Maker, and I don't know much about it. I'm learning. I'm watching people's videos. And I used one bit, a finishing bit, ball nose finishing bit, very small. It tapered down. It's about 2 inches long. I done the entire carving with that bit. And I used to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. I was up until 4:30 in the morning waiting for that to get done. And it was almost done. It was like 98% done.
This is why you do a 2-pass job.
I know. I should have used a bigger bit to clear everything out and then went in with the fine cut bit. Well, I wound up halfway through the job on the Eagle, a lot of the parts using this upcut bit, they were up in the air sticking up, and I had trouble wire brushing them off because I'd already burned up the bit at that point. Well, when it got almost all the way done, UGS, Universal G-Code Sender, had an error. Why it had an error, I don't know. All of a sudden, it had an error after all them hours, and I'm like, okay, fine, I can go to bed. And that's the number one reason you can't leave a CNC unattended, because the Makita router I have to turn on manually. So when that program had an error, it was in the wood, just sitting there running and stopped. So if I would have been sleeping, that eventually was going to heat up and start with
friction would have caused burn. Yeah, would have burned it.
Hey, Chewy, what's going on? How you doing today?
Yeah. Hey, Chewy. So what? No, see, even the one that I had, the spindle is manual control. You can't turn it on and off. You have to. If you're going to click a button to turn it on, and then you have to turn a dial for the speed.
Yeah.
On the 4030.
Looks nice, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's don't have the papered color on the back. That's actually a colored print, right?
No, it's pure PLA. Basically similar to that. That's the backing of one of mine, but it's a failed print. And sorry.
So you print the front and then you 3D print the back as well?
No. It's all 3D printed. It's just
the real thin layers of each color. Then we stack them up. It changes color based on the 4 colors you use.
Like you used to do with the paper,
They like bleed through each color to change the color.
This is bleeding.
I agree, Chewy. You can fix it with a relay, but the way the machine comes, it doesn't come with that.
See,
so you'd have to add, and especially with a router, you'd have to add a relay to turn the router on and off.
And it's the same picture as this one.
Do an SSR or something like that in there.
Let me see if I got that on my hard drive.
So basically this just in the back.
Look how nice this enclosure looks for the electronics here.
And I have another one.
Nice.
Nice.
It's all
The
printed,
Raspberry
right?
Pi I adapted. It originally was made for a Pi 3B. I adapted it to fit a Pi 3A. You never use USB on a duet setup anyway.
Oh,
Pi
Dan, how are you
said by
today?
the end of this year, their prices will return back to normal.
Yeah, I've got a handful of stuff. I've got a brand new 4 sitting right here, and no project to put it in.
Well, I want to buy more 02Ws, but I'm waiting because, yeah, I have 02. I have 1 or 2 of them left lying around, but I need more.
I may have 1 or 2 dozen Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, they're hard to find right now, especially they're really difficult to come across. But the Pi Foundation said that they'll be back up to normal stock supplies and distribution by the end of this year. Is what they
I've
said.
got 3 Canakit Pi 3Bs. They're in cases. They have SD card in them. They got the power supply.
That's the 0W. That's the 02W. Is what I need.
$80 a piece for them. Been trying to sell them for a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, a long time ago, Lightspeed said, "Hey, I'll give you $80 a piece for them." And at the time, I wanted 100 and told him no. Then a week later, I changed my mind, but then he didn't want them anymore. So
Yeah. So the 0W is not enough power. The 02W has the higher processor. It will, but it does run into problems. You need the 02W because you have your processor is a faster processor, and it handles the communication and the chatter with the printer better.
SBC 3D, hello, hello. How are you doing today? Welcome.
And the 02W,
And later, when we do the filament giveaway later, if you're not in the U.S., no problem. You can still enter. It just needs to go to somebody in the U.S. You can donate it to somebody, or we can just redraw. So a lot of people like to enter just to see if it's possible they can win. So you're welcome to enter. But if you're not based in the U.S. and you're not present to win, we'll have to go to somebody in the U.S. or a redraw.
I haven't tried it with a Pico. Yeah, but the AMS is great. The downside is there's so much filament wasted when you're doing the purge.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's a lot.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of wastage. It's you're probably like with the amount of colors that Matt's printing, I would say you're wasting 30% of your filament that you're printing on purges.
Okay, here's what I posted on Facebook the other day. Let me share this. And I don't have the brushes bristles cut down. That's why it's anyway. I'm having trouble talking today.
Actually, it's not that much on the flat printed lithophanes. The flat lithophanes I print around about 16 layers. 16 layer changes I do.
Here, let me run this. Let me run this. You can hear how loud. You can hear how loud the vacuum is. Hold on.
Yeah.
Now you watch the bristles. See how they're being sucked up by all the air?
They're too long for you need shorter bristles for what you're doing. Yeah.
And I've got new magnets coming in the mail today. I've reprinted all the parts. I got to cut the bristles way down.
But do what you can do, Jerry. You can add, if you add a gate somewhere along the line, we can open it up, so it actually is not drawing all the air from there, but it can actually bring in somewhere else.
Hold on, Liam. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, these magnets aren't strong enough. I tried to add 2 more magnets in the middle, and they wouldn't work right. Don't have enough suction.
They didn't have enough attraction, yeah.
I'm just sucking them in right there. Alrighty.
So, Jerry, you have 2. You could actually add a gate along that 4-inch hose somewhere. that you can, like a draft excluder you have in a fireplace, you open it up, and it allows to draw air in somewhere else, so it actually decreases the suction down there, so it won't pull the bristles in as much.
Yeah.
Or mount the bristles on the outside, fix them up some other way on the outside, so there's not as much of them to be bent inwards.
Well, once I put a bit in it, I have to cut the bristles down. If that still doesn't work, I might have to buy different bristles. The dust extractor, I'm going to end up putting a trash can under it with a great big, whatchamacallit,
Is it cyclone?
cyclone. That happens quite a bit. My mouth is talking faster than I can think, and the words just don't come up.
Yeah, but a gate somewhere along the line where you can actually allow air to be sucked in somewhere else along the tube will actually decrease the overall suction at the end. So it allows you to control how much air draw you're getting there because it's running at one speed, right? So you need some way of controlling the air draw, and you can actually do that by opening a gate so you can pull the air in elsewhere. So it gets the right air draw, but it's not all come from one location.
I need to get out my second video for Sane Smart, but I got to carve some more stuff. And I'm trying to get the dust extractor to work better because it makes a huge mess.
Hey,
Hello,
Steven. I have the proper, because I have the 300 watt spindle on mine. Yours came with the 75 watt.
Yeah.
So you put a router on it. I have a 300 on mine, so I can actually mill aluminum with mine as it is. So what I'm going to do, so I actually got the shoe for the spindle, and the other reason why I prefer to stay with a spindle is the noise level on a spindle in comparison to a router is vastly different.
Oh yeah,
routers make a hell of a racket.
My shop vac, as everybody has a shop vac, they scream. This dust extractor is loud, but it's not screaming loud. It's a different type of noise, so it's not that bad. It's loud, but it's not screaming. It's not bothering your ears. And I can't hear very well anyway, but I do have earmuffs if I need to wear them. And I don't have earplugs anymore. Way back when I used to have a job, but I got earmuffs.
I have a headset that I can actually plug my phone into it.
Oh,
so
cool.
I can talk on my headset on my phone, or I can take a phone call through it, or even listen to music while it kills the outside sound.
Yeah, this is a good question right here. Aluminum printer parts when. On my CNC, since I'm doing a video for Sane Smart, I'm probably going to go down to Lowe's. I'll buy a chunk of aluminum. I'll do something with it, but that would be the only time.
I'd be very careful, even with a Makita router on that machine, because it's got NEMA 17s.
Yeah,
you don't have the torque to dig into aluminum, and speed is a problem. You want to be what's the speed rate of your router? 10 to 20,000 or something like that.
It goes up to 30,000.
You want to be down. What's the slowest? What is the slowest power?
I don't know. I'm thinking probably like 10.
Okay, you want to be operating at 10 when you're doing aluminum. Don't go too high. Speed is a killer when it comes to aluminum, because if you're going too high, you'll actually melt the aluminum, and all it will do is fill the flutes and actually and some melt itself in there, and your end mill is useless. A fine turbo.
Let me go grab that eagle that I cut out. I never cut it out all the way yet, but I have to finish cleaning it up. But I can show you what I was doing. It took me forever. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, so I have to set up my spot for my CNC. It's in my basement still right now, but I'll be moving into the garage soon. But I need to get up my. What I'm going to do is you can get those metal sawhorses, workhorses that can take the 2x4 on the side. So I'm going to get one of those, then I'm going to get my CNC and mount it on it, some on 3/4 inch MDF, mount it on that, and that way then I can actually set up the sawhorses outside or wherever I want to use it, and then stand it across it. It's got support all the way around because it's got a 2x4 running the sides of it. That's my plan is to do so, and then I'm going to put a bracket on the wall so when I'm not using it, with some help, I lift it and mount it on the wall so we can lock it into place. And I can take it up and down as I need it. You have projects for me? Well, I've done a lot of CNC stuff in the past. So doing stuff on a CNC is easy. I haven't done much aluminum, but I've done steel, not at my home setup, but I've done steel and I've done a few others. I've done some high tensile steel and stuff. And a lot of woodwork. That's my area. I like working on doing on wood. Okay, well, we can see what we can do for you. So, are you doing anything other than lithophanes, Matt?
Yeah, I made quite a few lithophanes. I just showed them off.
No, anything other than lithophanes.
Oh, made those.
All right.
So I made this with. I got a whole bunch of filament in from.
Carry on.
Carry on, yeah.
And
I think I've only ever had 3 spools of their material.
the product's pretty good. I'm not a too big fan of silk, but this is silk. So
I'm not a fan of silks either. Come on, Jerry, show us.
Yeah, I had 2 pieces of wood that I glued together. You can see it on the back, and I clamped it overnight.
That looks good.
Yeah, that turned out really nice.
Yeah.
And the reason part of the wood's missing, I broke it off. I was going to take a coping saw and try to go around it, but it wouldn't be perfectly round. So I bought a little cheap bandsaw called a Wen off Amazon for like $100 and something bucks. But yeah, I took a wire brush to it, but I started in the center and it was spiraling out, doing the job instead of back and forth this way. And it done really good for about as big as my hand. And then he started starting to seeing all these wingtips with wood sticking straight up in the air. At that point, I killed my bit because it was taking on too much too fast.
You were
Whether
moving too fast, yeah.
My speed or feed. My feed rate could have been too fast, or I could have cranked it
Well,
up.
you can slow it down on the fly.
And here's a bit that I was using for the entire job.
Or burnt the end of it.
And that's like a $35 bit. And yeah, I burnt the end of it. But it got right around here when it was doing its final passes on this edge to cut all the way through. When the program had an error, it's like, what in the hell happened? So I stopped it, took it off. So I'll just finish cutting it out and I'll finishing wire brushing it. But that's my actual first 3D carve. Now my MPCNC that I wound up selling, that was a kit that you build that had the Makita router. I've done a lot of signs with easel, doing signs where it said the Naps or somebody's name. I've done probably 10 or 15 of those. But this is the only actual 3D carve I've ever tried. And the same smart looks like a Mini 150. So it just doesn't have the power, but it's built similar. And, anyway, I'm really happy with it. I got a regular dust distractor, but you see how it was 3/4 wood. So this little tiny bit, carving this entire thing, literally took way too long. And I should have used a clearing bit, which I have, to clear out most of it. Then you come in with this bit and do all the fine tuning. But,
Jerry, I got news for you. I have Easel Pro.
oh, cool.
And I didn't pay for it.
No way.
I got Carve Pro.
Wow.
Because they have an option where you can apply with a college or something like that, and you can gain access. They gave me Carve Pro because of one of those emails that I have.
Nice.
Nice. I've had other software in the past where I would make up a high school name and say I was a student, but that was a few years back. But yeah, that's cool.
So because if I'm going to do stuff using it, I'm going to do it I'm going to do videos on it anyway, right? So it's nice because I will actually use it for Fusion is free anyway, Chewy. You don't have to have for home use. Anybody can use Fusion for free. You have the only thing is it limits certain features, but they're very small. And they're only stuff used on heavy industry stuff anyway, so you don't need the full blown version of Fusion. And
well, the one thing that hobbyists would use on Fusion that's not included on the free version is the mesh to body conversion.
They took that out of it like a year or two ago, and they changed it up.
Yeah. Well, you can still convert a mesh to a body in there, but it's a really poor conversion, and it leaves you with a million triangles, and it's not clean like the paid version. The paid version has a much cleaner to convert STLs to basically Fusion 360 files. But convert meshes to bodies.
But like if you want to do like I use Fusion for for CNC to create my toolpaths, right? So
Right.
if you have a mesh, you bring it in. You bring your STL or whatever into Fusion, and then you use it. And you do from there. You do your toolpathing on it, right? You don't have to do much more of it. You just do the cam side of things.
Yeah, we
I had
need to normalize putting out step files in the community instead of just STLs if you're going to make your designs open source. That enclosure, that electronics enclosure, is supposed to be for a Caribou printer. And because I had the step file, I spent less than an hour modifying it to fit exactly what I have on hand. A lot better than trying to work with STLs.
I used to subscribe to Easel when I first got that MPCNC up and running. It was $20 a month at the time, and then they jacked it up to $25 a month, and I dropped it. And it was really good for doing signs, very fast and easy. And now you can do 3D carvings with it. I got Carveco Maker free for 3 months when I got the CNC from SainSmart to review, the Jimitsu 4040 Pro. And then after the 3 months, if I want to keep paying for it, it's $15 a month. So if I can learn it, it's great, but I just have to watch other people's videos and I kind of get their pointers, even though those exact settings don't apply to me. And, trying to pick up the right.
Australia. What's his name?
Angus?
No. He does a lot of CNCs and stuff. He builds his own big CNC. An older guy.
Well, I know who you're thinking of. I can't think of his name.
Guy with glasses, you know him?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I remember later on, but he does really good stuff, and he uses that. But with like, it has a lot of functionalities, which is great. But for me, like, Car Pro,
Vectric is what a lot of people use that cost $1 million. You got to be rich to own it.
Yeah, but Robert Webb, that's him.
Bob Webb.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
Hey,
Bob Webb has some really good stuff.
James Dean Design has a lot of good videos out there. James Dean Designs.
He does in the UK, yeah. Yeah, Bob Webb's I think he's in New Zealand.
It's a lot easier trying to decide what software you want to use when you're not a YouTuber.
Dave.
And
Hello, Dave.
Don't worry about showing what you're using.
See, I'm talking about CNCs, and here's Dave Gatton.
I think it depends on what functions you want, right? The functionality will dictate what you want and what software you're going to choose. If you're just going to do signs with text and so on.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the options I use. I'm not going to put on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave Gatton. Let me show me. I don't think he's seen it. Let me
have.
In Carveco Maker, Dave, here's something I was working on the SainSmart. Now, like a dumbass, and yes, I'll call myself a dumbass, I started this one day at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't going to get done until 4:30 the next morning, so I had to stay awake. And guess what I used for the entire job? And yes, I burned up the bit. And in UGS, it got down to the last, like 98%. I had an error on the screen, which killed the job. So I shut off the bit, didn't clean up the mess, went to bed. So I'm going to cut this out on my little saw and finish cleaning it up. But it came out great, but I killed a $35 bit in the process.
Hey, Jerry, first of all, don't put yourself down and call yourself a dumbass. That's our job.
Yeah. Don't diminish our job.
That'll be in my video for SainSmart. I'm going to explain why I did it, or what I did and what I shouldn't have did. Now I'll hear.
Hey Dan, hey Tripod,
hey
check in the shop.
Yeah. So what are you going to do, Jerry?
This is the kind of software that I use.
What?
iPatch, Pirate.
Oh, right. So
right.
Jerry,
because I'm not a YouTuber, so.
A recommendation, because of the way the wings are, they get contours to show up. Torch the eagle very lightly, and from an angle, so it only burns certain areas. Very, very lightly, only the tips of it, and then paint around it.
Well, I'm going to stain it, but yeah, that's an idea.
Don't stain it. Stain it will be too even. Torch it. Use a flame at an angle and flame the tips of the wings and so on, so they kind of stand out. It's tan and on the bottom and darker on the edges, so they'll stand out, and then sand it afterwards, and then lightly sand it, and then paint around the outside.
I bought a blue wire wheel. It's kind of a plastic on Amazon. I put that in my cordless drill, and I use that to clean up most of the project. I forget what it was called, the wheel's called, but it's not metal. That way it don't rip up the wood. It'll clean up all the burrs and all the wood that was sticking straight up on it, the fibers. It cleans it out real good. And I got a small wire brush. I got to go over it. Well, you can't get the nooks and crannies of sandpaper. So I'm going to use a small wire brush, real small one, plus that plastic wheel I have will work.
What most people do in woodwork is they would use 00 or 000 wire wool. That's what they use for cleaning up parts like that. Scrub it with wire wool.
Well, guys, I got to jump out of here. I got to get going. I got to leave in about an hour. So,
all right. Well, thanks for coming in,
Scott. Take off, so.
I'll remember to send you an invite every week, and if you come, you come. If you don't, you don't.
No worries. I know where to find you at each week. So,
all right. Well, take care, my friend. You have a great day.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
But yeah, Liam, the software I've been using lately is if you get it on subscription, it's like $600 a month.
Chewy, you can send me the link and I'll look at it and post it, but there's no way you can post links in here.
Standalone, it's like $11,000 and $2,400 a year in maintenance.
Chewy, send the link to me and I'll send it to.
Is that the one where you need a dongle to activate it? No. Some of them out there require dongles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like you have to have a USB stick in the machine for it to activate.
Right.
Yeah. That started a long time ago using dongles. I remember over the parallel ports. You had to plug a dongle into the parallel port.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's what I was using at my last job. It's Siemens NX, and at first I hated it, but they right before I changed jobs, they paid for me a class on modeling in it, and I love it now. I can take a step file and edit a step file like it's native. Like I can, in a step file, I can get a hole. It's not, parameterized, so you can't like just click the hole and change the size. But in NX, you can literally click the hole in the step file and change the size.
Nice.
I can grab faces and move them, drag them around, and copy features, like all kinds of really cool stuff. And all I need is a step file to do it.
Yeah, you can't import step files
really upset me when this happened. Wicked Art Patreon. I'm working on Nebula in resin. Uniformation GK2.
Well, it looks great.
Yeah, don't it though?
That's in the Uniformation make lovely printers.
See that arm? Look at that. Her whole elbow is gone.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Tell me. I had it angled in the printer, was printing upside down, and it could just barely fit on the GK2. I was taping this for a video, and when I took it off in the video, I'm like, oh, it's got a crack on the back. Okay, I can fix that, and I seen the elbow. And I'm working in jam heat gray resin. So then I redid the print. I closed the lid this time, that way the heater would work. I didn't tape it.
Same again.
Did the same exact thing. It don't have the crack on the back, but it did the same thing. These aren't cured yet. I've just cleaned them in IPA. So then I went over to the Peel Poly Forge. Same print. I figured, okay, great. If I have to, I could always
Is there a flaw in the print?
Head off one of the gray ones and put it on the one in green because the head didn't print and the hand didn't finish. But then look at the back of it. The whole back of it gone.
Is there a flaw in the mesh in the print?
I don't know. I contacted Gabriel with Wicked Art, and he said he hasn't had any reports that's happening. He said print it in pieces. Well, I shouldn't have to print it in pieces when I'm able to print it in one piece. So it really irritates me. It's a lot of resin. Sure, it was given to me by Jam Heat, a review a while back, but still, resin's expensive. Oh, no, we got a raid coming in. Digital Greg and the 72 Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Well, I'm going to get out of here.
We raided with 12 people. Awesome. Hey, everybody. I'm Jerry with 3DHP, and each and every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific, I go live on YouTube and Twitch. We talk about 3D printing, lasers, CNC machines, painting, Astro printer, NASA, failed prints, a little bit of anything and everything. But thank you. Please give me a follow. I'd really appreciate it. And if you'd like to drop in on screen, I post links. So if you're a maker and you want to come in and talk about what you're working on, you're welcome to do so. Digital Dragon, I hope you had a great stream. Like I say, I only stream once a week, and I really appreciate the rate, everybody. So hello. Yeah, I was just talking about some failed prints from Wicked. My GK2 uniformation printer, I printed out Nebula, and then as you can see, her arm failed.
That's not a failure. That's after Thanos took her apart, remember?
Yeah. So then I reprinted it. Same problem with the arm.
You can tell.
Well, where's it at? Right there, the elbow, the arm right there. It got screwed up. So then I went over to the Peel Poly Forge with the green resin from Jamhee. And I noticed that the head wasn't printing, so I stopped the print. And then when I pulled off the supports, the entire back is gone on it.
That's probably a support issue, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, she's a little over 2 millimeters thick, like everything that I do. I've got dense light supports, internal and external. That shouldn't have happened. And that's based on me printing hundreds and hundreds of things out of resin. So
I know, yeah.
I got to figure out why.
Because you used another print that came up.
It'll end up in a video at some point. This will be in a video. 3D print help. Hello.
Jerry, could it be the resin?
Yeah, it could be the resin because when I got the resin, I had to tweak certain settings with the resin.
Yeah.
But I used those same settings on the two ones that were in gray, and the green, which is translucent, printed fine with some other parts that I done. So yeah, I have to figure it out. Check your LCD and your FET. Yep.
I have seen the launch pad. There is the print out there for the Saturn V. I have never done it, but I have seen them.
There's a link for anybody like to drop in.
I would try, Jerry. I would probably print it with a resin works.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the resin.
Yeah, I have some Sunlu resin, which I bought a bunch of right before Jamhee sent me a bunch of resin. Now, Jamhee's a manufacturer for many companies. Many companies buy from them, and then they have their label put on the resin. But there are certain settings that have to be tweaked. Like I have 2 bottles of white from them, and when you pour it, it looks like Elmer's glue. And I tried to print with it, and I got the build plate had a wrapped on it, and that was all the print. That's all it printed. So I have to figure out the settings before I reuse that.
Hey, I kind of feel like what's this character called? I don't know.
Which character?
He always looks like over a wall, and then like
from the newspaper, Jerry. What's his name? The character that
80s.
He's talking about
can't remember his name.
God. No, it's not from a comic strip. People on job sites draw it all the time. What in the hell is he called? Can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
It's just 2 eyes and a nose. Kilroy. There you go. That's
Yeah,
it.
Kilroy.
I
couldn't remember his name.
Kilroy.
Yeah.
Because I'm hiding behind my.
Yeah, well, that's because you populated so much stuff around you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just want to show off my stuff. So,
what's wrong with the SV07?
After 16 benches, you figured it out. Is it a secret and it'll be in a video, or do you want to tell us in chat, or you're welcome to drop in and tell us on screen?
After 16 benches, he figured out he wants to quit.
I hate that you do so much of a certain thing for so long, and then you get another product or whatever it may be, and it's like, wow, what happened? And you're trying to figure out why. And yes, I am forgetful, and I have to ask people things I forget. I do that all the time, but I know my resin. So, but yeah, it's definitely different. Usually, I can just pour in resin and go, and it's fine. I don't have to tweak anything. But
yeah, that's why I think it's the resin, because you've done a lot of prints without ever having issues. So,
and then I won that other one that'll be coming at some point. I haven't heard back from Sanix when they're shipping it, but it will some point.
Yeah, no, I'm going to spend most of my time now getting the CNC stuff done. I want some more work. I said I'm working on a video right now, and I'll get it out probably tomorrow, all going well.
That printer I won, I was just thinking about it, telling my wife. I've got the Anycubic, which had a bad board in it. I thought they sent me a new one. I never did get it to work properly. And I don't, even if the printer was working, I still have the other 2 printers. I don't need a lot of resin printers because I have too many hobbies, and I hop around. There's a very good chance this printer that I won, when I get it, there's a very good chance I might turn that into 2 or 3 tires for my truck because my truck needs new tires. So wait and see.
Yeah,
I might discount it and then put it on Marketplace maybe.
I do so little mileage. It's unreal.
Well, that's just it. I don't have high miles on my truck. My tires look good. I've had them on there for so long, the sun destroys them and they start cracking. And I don't park in the garage. And then that's how I blew out that tire here about 2 months ago.
Well, you're in Vegas where it's cooked half of the year, right?
Yeah.
I'm not. Half my year, everything's frozen.
Yeah, but my tread looks fine. It's just the fact that the tires still go bad.
Hmm.
I wouldn't drive it to Prump or anywhere they look fine. Yeah, dry rot. Yeah.
Like the longest drive my truck is ever going to get will be to Texas next year. That'll be the longest drive it's ever done.
Yeah, I've driven to Seguin and to Lubbock. It's like 13 and a half hours to Lubbock from Vegas.
And Texas, where I'm going to Texas, is a 19-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
For next April.
I used to be a delivery driver for a living for 10 years, and and then Vegas got bigger, and now I'm to the point, I try to go places in the morning. Being retired, if me and my wife wants to go somewhere, sure, if we can go in the morning, if you get up out of bed, we can go, but I don't like going anywhere in the afternoon when it's heavy traffic, just because I can avoid it by going in the morning. So.
Yeah, at least half.
Yeah. And then after the pandemic, the damn place jacked up all their prices. So the tires used to be one price for quite a bit more now. Everybody knows everything's been jacked up. It's ridiculous.
Take that. I'll be at Murph, but I'll be there for Saturday only. I'm driving down Saturday morning. I'll be there for the day, and I'll drive back Saturday evening, back home. It's a 4.5 hour drive for me.
Well, take lots of pictures, film it, make a video out of it.
Yeah, I didn't bring any recording stuff with me last year. I might this year.
Well, you got your cell phone. That's all you need.
The batteries don't last that long when you're recording video. It kills your batteries.
That's why you have battery backups.
No, you cannot replace batteries in these phones.
Oh.
You have to.
Do you ever get off a battery pack?
Yeah, you can carry a charging unit. Yeah.
Yeah, you can plug it into that.
Yeah, I'll be definitely there.
I like to go just to meet people. I don't really care.
Michigan. I'm in Wixom, Michigan. So Murph is in the back of nowhere, Indiana. Is where Murph is.
Goshen, Indiana, I believe, right?
That's what I said. Back of nowhere, Indiana.
It's on a farm or Amish country type thing. I think
it's all Amish country. It's in the middle of. It's held at a fairground that's normally used for showing animals and horses and cows and stuff.
Goshen, okay.
So yeah, it's back of nowhere, Indiana is where it is. Like if you blink, you miss Goshen. So don't blink as you get close.
And then the other one, Earth, is down around New York area, right?
Yeah, north of New York area, yeah, I believe.
All right. And then the one that they just had in Colorado, that was in
Denver.
No, it was 45 minutes from Denver. I'm trying to think of the name of the city. It'll pop up in chat here. It'll magically just appear in chat. Loveland, Colorado. Yeah. I didn't see it in chat. I finally remembered something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to go just to shake hands and meet people and talk to people in person. It's great seeing everybody on camera or messages. I'd rather talk to people in person.
It's June the 23rd, I believe. 23rd and 24th, 25th, I believe. Isn't that right, John? 23, 24, 25 of June? I don't have a talk that weekend, so that's why I'm going down. I have a talk the following week to do. Yeah, so yeah, it's a fun day, but I'm only going down for the one day because no point staying over. And Saturday is going to be the busiest day of them all anyway. 23 to 25, okay. Yeah, it's about 4.5 hours for me to drive, but I'm reserving. I'm being careful about time I'm using because I have a trip coming up in the beginning of July, and I want to reserve time as well for the eclipse next year. Yeah, I'm going to be driving out to Texas for that.
Chat, where's Earth at exactly? The city. Hey, Cleo. Hello. Thanks for joining. Where is it? It's down around New Jersey, New York. Sergio was in chat. He's been there many times. I think John's been there. It's somewhere around New York, Earth. East Coast Rep Rap. So anyway, if those neodymium or whatever neo whatever they call magnets,
Neodymium.
then I will put them in this. And what I did on the other one, I took my drill and I put a hole here, and I notched it here and here, and I glued in some bigger magnets, but they were the same type, and it still didn't have much grip. So Bel Air, Maryland. Okay, thanks, man. It's in Maryland.
Neodymium magnets are strong as long as they're as long as they've got a high M or N rating. So N54s or anything over N40 should be strong enough.
And I always mark them with a Sharpie. That way I know which side attracts and which side pushes away.
Yeah, but don't drop them and let them hit each other. They will crack. They'll break apart. They'll shatter each other. Mr. Diesel, hey, how are you?
Hey, Mr. Diesel.
Here's the link. If anybody would like to drop in, you're welcome to do so. Hey, Daniel. Hello.
So yeah, that'll be fun. It's not that far away, actually. It's only a month away from us now. Just over a month away from us.
Yeah, I got a birthday coming up in a month, June 12th. I am a year younger.
Another trip around the sun, Jerry. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, right now we've got 27 people watching on Twitch and 13 on YouTube.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll be what do I have coming up? Oh, I'm in the planetarium this week. This Wednesday I'm in the planetarium. I do planetarium shows at a local university.
Your son had tests last week, right?
He has his SATs.
Did he get an answer how to do on it? You know,
he won't know till about a month afterwards. So it could be next month before we find out. But he can do it multiple times because this is for college entrance.
Kate, you would have a blast.
Doing this just now.
And the best thing to do, Kate, is go on YouTube since you're on YouTube now and just type in ERRF, East Coast Rep Festival, and there's a million people a lot of people have done video footage and what's going on there and how busy it is. But yeah, there's lots of videos. Rocky Mountain Rep they just had will be on there, Earth and Murph. You can just find videos all over YouTube. That way you'll know what to expect and if you want to go.
Well, you got a 3D chameleon on what printer? Print out. What machine did you add it to?
Oh, wow. Copy the logo, too. I know the printer looked like a Prusa. It looks like a great little machine. I've had people contact me on machines I'm selling on YouTube or on Marketplace. I was selling different printers. And I said, I'm new to 3D printing. Would this be good for me? And I said, no, it wouldn't. I sent them the link to Amazon. I said, you should go buy a Sobel SV06. But yeah, that's a shame.
Print out, if you ever run into issues, ping Bill Steely, the guy who owns and runs.
Okay, I'm looking at the link now.
Reach out to Bill. He's very helpful. We're still waiting on John to install the one that he got, and it's about 3 years old now, John? It's probably still in the box.
Okay, Chewy sent this to me for GitHub. Zanny the Bar, J Sketcher. I'm not sure what this is. I'll post it in chat, a link. What am I looking at, Chewy?
What is it for? Oh, it's CAD? Or is it free CAD or something?
Oh, it's CAD software? Okay, I posted the link. Click on it, guys. You can look at it an hour later. Thanks, Chewy.
I don't have any Voxel machines, Daniel. Sorry. I'm slowly starting to give away some of the machines I have.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I have friends and neighbors who are looking for machines or have old machines and they're really bad. So I've been giving them, because I have 30 printers and I don't use them all the time. So I've been giving it to friends and stuff, and I'll be giving them to them just to help them out. Still haven't gotten rid of any of I'm keeping my IDEX. My IDEX are not going anywhere, but some of the normal bed slingers, I'm slowly but surely.
Whatever happened to your 500 by 500 by 500?
Still there, still working. I've installed Clipper on it. I have to do. I want to do a few more upgrades to it, but it works fine. It's a great printer. I want to install an ABL because the bed is so big. I can get good prints out of it, but like you're talking about a print bed that's 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter. That's a huge print volume to hold flat on, and it does okay. It's glass, but I want to. I need to install an ABL on it. That's another upgrade I want to add. But it's a good machine though.
Well, you can use my discount code and you can get 5% off from TH3D.
Oh, from their ABL. Yeah, I'm considering, since I have Clipper on it, I'm actually considering, what's the new one called?
What, a Pendaprobe or something?
No, the new really fast one that scans. What's it called?
From Waron?
No, yeah, it's one that scans really fast. The Beacon, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of maybe the Beacon. On using the Beacon, I can change the way to get rid of the glass bed, put a magnetic PEI sheet on it, and use the Beacon. Because that scans
PEI sheet,
like 500 points in the space of a couple of seconds.
3D printouts is $80.
It is, but you know what? For like, instead of doing, because on a 300 by 300 bed, you do like a normal bed. You probably want to do 4 points by 4 points at least,
16,
right?
yeah.
But as you increase that size, you want to really up the amount of points you're measuring, and that can do it very quickly in comparison to doing an ABL or a magnetic probe that's going to take an awful lot more to scan that size. Because on a 500 by 500, you want to be doing about at least 10 points, a 10-point systems, like 10 by 10, you know. That's 100 points to measure. 20 by 20 would also work, yeah. But with something like that, it does a 500 by 500 scan, and it'll do it really fast. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's why I'm thinking about something like that. I haven't finally decided yet, but I would have to change it to a PEI sheet because that probe doesn't work with a glass bed. It only works with a metal sheet.
We're going to give away a roll of filament here in a minute from Ziltech.com. They're based out of Houston, Texas.
Say if you're doing a draw for Jerry, just give it to me. It's not a problem.
My bamboo, I've been using a lot of Ziltech filament. Sometimes my bamboo likes it and sometimes it don't. So when I have a problem with a print or whatever happens, I usually just throw Polymaker in it. And I usually have no problems. Usually. Until I printed this, like I told you, out of Crucement orange, and I got 97% done. And I woke up one morning a couple days ago, and it said spaghetti detection said I had a problem. I grabbed the loose material, I hit resume, and it was printing above it way too high, so I had to stop the print. So this dust extractor, I'm going to print the rest of it out from Tom Lama that he designed, and then I'll see how big the gap is to determine whether I have to reprint this.
Mr. Diesel, ask away. Sorry, Jerry. I didn't mean to. Sorry. And print help. My P1P is printing fine. I've found a way to offset the issues I was seeing on the axis by turning the part. Well, a lot of people don't have issues. Glittery filament for 0.4. I would say that would depend on the filament. I would recommend a 0.6 because there's a chance you'll go in because glitter is an additive to the filament that can cause blockages. If any of the pieces or even multiple come out to the nozzle at the same time, they can block.
It may print
carbon filled. I would recommend a 0.6 nozzle. You can get fantastic prints with a 0.6 like you can with a 0.4. There's no difference. But I would even if you have 0.4 today, if you bought all 0.6s, going forward, you can just stick with that and never use a 0.4 again. You really don't need a 0.4. A 0.6 is fantastic, and you'd only go down if you want to do really fine detail to a 0.2 or something. And very few people do that.
I wish that all slicers were smart, and when you picked a bigger nozzle on that slicer, it automatically tweaked all the settings, so you don't have to go through and try to figure it all out.
It tweaks some of them for you.
Yeah, well, Bamboo hypothetically does everything. You pop on their 0.6, 0.8 nozzle, pick it, print it.
That's because it's got pre-built profiles for those size nozzles.
And now that AI is coming out and coming as far as long as it is, it's hard to say what we'll see in the near future as far as for things being automated, automatically stepping up. Yeah, Bang USA in chat. NB wants to win. You need to be present to win. Contact me within 24 hours or a day or two. Let me know what kind of filament you want. Don't wait a week and say, oh, yeah, I won it last week. Here's what I want. I'll just redraw the following week. But, yeah, it's pretty simple. I'll give you my email. Go to ziltech.com, pick out some PLA, ABS, or PETG. Tell me the color, and I'll let my rep know. She'll get it sent out Monday to wherever you're at. Pete won last week. By the way, guys. Pete won last week, and I never seen his emails or messages, but I finally got a hold of him, and hopefully he's received it by now. So hopefully Pete got his filament already. Anyway, let me turn that banner off. Bang USA in chat. If you want to
bang or hash, Jerry?
Hashtag. Yeah, hashtag USA, like it says on the screen in chat. And if you win outside of the country, no problem, because people love to win just to see what's possible. But if you win, it's got to go to somebody in the U.S., so you can donate it to somebody. And then they can give me their mailing information, or you can give me their mailing information, however. Anyway, let's do the drawing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
That's the fastest countdown in history.
Roger Brown. Awesome. Roger Brown, are you still here? Are you in chat, Roger Brown? Roger.
Well, it's not Roger unless he replies. Oh, he's there. So where are you located, Roger?
Here's my email, Roger, if you don't already know how to get a hold of me.
Well, find out where he's based first. Where are you located? Are you located in the U.S. or where are you? Because if you're not in the U.S., then you can either redraw or you can send it to somebody else in the U.S.
Yep.
Or he's in Maine. Okay.
All right.
That qualifies as U.S.
Go to ziltech.com, pick out a roll and color, and let me know. Here's my email and chat popping up right now. jenap1@yahoo.com. Or you can get a hold of me through my Facebook group. You can message me on Twitter. There's a lot of ways to get a hold of me. Most people know who I am. But thank you. Congratulations. I'll write your name down. Very cool.
Roger came in as one of the raids, I believe. Didn't he, Jerry?
I'm not sure, but I don't recognize him in chat as a regular.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he came in as in a raid.
Please consider following. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. It's free. I'd really appreciate it. Trying to build my channel. Very welcome.
Very cool. Yeah, their PETG is really nice to print with. So is their PLA, but I use mostly PETG. I like their PETG. So
like I say, my Bamboo likes it sometimes it don't, but they got a lot of great colors, different types of filament.
Yeah. So pick your color and the filament, PLA or PETG, send it to Jerry, and he'll get it to you.
Yeah, it's all random. There's no way I can change odds on the giveaway tool StreamYard. And the reason I'm using the giveaway tool from StreamYard, it'll pick up anybody in chat. Since I'm streaming on Twitch or I'm streaming on YouTube, it'll pick up all of it. That's why I'm using it instead of a wheel or something. The only one you can actually rig is called Nightbot. If you use Nightbot, you could actually rig it if you wanted somebody to win.
Why is Matt scared? He's hiding behind his chair.
His back's probably hurting him, so he's standing up for a while. And he's got his microphone off, so we can't hear him.
You know?
Yeah, I was cutting a little bit, so my back is hurting real right.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured that out. That's why you're standing, your back's bothering you.
I heard about your back pain, so I've always known you were a pain in the neck, but I've always. He knows I'm only messing with him. He's used to me.
He's messing.
I made him cry. Yes, one score for me.
People that came in from the raid, I'm going to show you my intro again, because if you've never seen my intro, it takes, I don't know, a couple minutes, but here's my intro to kind of gives you an introduction to who I am and what all I do. And I've changed this throughout the last few years, selling off printers and changing things. But I'm going to run my intro again so everybody can see it. And this is pictures I've taken around my different hobby rooms.
So, Louise, we all know Matt swears like a sailor. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, kind of sums up who I am.
Yeah, Jerry does a lot of stuff.
Hey, let's go to Barf, man. Barf's coming in a couple of weeks. Let's go to Barf. Bring some beer. Bring a bag in case you got a Barf.
Yeah, let's go to Barf. Bring your own baggie.
3 bags at the door to Barf.
Yeah, so the next month it should be fun. As I said, I'll only be there for the day, but Murph is normally fun. We should be busy. I'll probably skip out there about 5 o'clock in the evening and head home. I'll be home by the time the sun sets.
Anybody like to drop in on camera and chit chat or promote yourself regarding your hobbies, like all the stuff we work on? FDM, resin, laser, CNC, painting. You're welcome to do so. If I know who you are, I'll let you in. If I don't know who you are, then I may or may not. Last week, somebody tried to drop in twice in the back room. They had their camera turned off. I'd never seen the name before in chat or anyway, and that would have been.
Trying to come in, guys.
Yeah, I need to see who you are and what's going on.
There's a couple of people actually have been pinging me on about this, Jerry. People are printing. There's other people printing this.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
been asking me questions about it on YouTube. And you know that one I did with the chocolate bar?
Yeah, he does.
They got a lot of views. The one I did about measuring the speed of light with a chocolate bar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That got a huge amount of views.
Oh, cool.
How many?
Let me double check what it is now. But
maybe people that actually understood what you're talking about.
I made it like a 10-second clip, and it got like 4,000 views in like 2 days.
I mean, what a clip?
Of
Shorts
of the color printing lithophane.
Okay.
Let me see. Where was it?
In 1 hour, I got like 1,200 views.
Matt, when you do a short with your cell phone, your camera's got to be upright, not sideways, longwise. Upright. 60 seconds or less. You could quickly talk about a bunch of stuff and say, if you want to find out more, come find me on Facebook or here. Make sure it's within 60 seconds. Your camera's got to be upright. You can upload it to YouTube straight from your phone. # short.
I can't find it. Doesn't matter. But it got a lot of views, which was interesting. I wasn't expecting that many views for something so small. It was only 4 minutes long.
Yeah, I can pull it up on YouTube if I can find it.
Yeah, you don't need.
I got a package here. Hold on.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I did release 2 videos 3 days ago. One got 330 views and one got 140 views.
That's good.
So
Yeah, that's good. You're not doing an awful lot, so you're not on YouTube all the time.
no. I mean, oh boy, how many people joined my group in the last 7 days is unbelievable. I probably gained like 100 people.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. And yes, please, people, join my group, follow me, and you will see what I do and what I make and what I do for charity and regular hangout updates and yeah. If Jerry makes me bigger, you can scan the QR code. What keeps popping up? There's 3 QR codes in the screen. So one is for my page, one is for my group, one is for my main profile thing. Yeah. Yeah, one is my group. Damn, forgot what I put on there.
Yeah, so I'm not
On Twitch.
yeah on the CNC that I built. I didn't do a live on that. I've recorded video and I'm piecing it together as we speak. So hopefully I'll get that finished tonight and get it published.
Hold on, I'll make myself bigger. I'll put it in the middle so you can do the QR code. Now the QR code should work. Next time I come up, just scan the QR code if I'm not too small. It keeps circling. After Polymaker should come.
Matt uses Luban mostly.
Yeah.
But you can use, there are a few sites online that will do little things for you as well.
Yes. There are several free ones out, like itslitho.com. It's a very good website. It's one of my other favorite sites. And then to do the colored lithophane, what I've been doing for the bamboo.
I'm sorry, guys. I had Liam Big that whole time.
No, yeah, it's fine. So, question for everybody. Is anyone traveling for the eclipse next year?
No.
You want to see eclipse?
Hey, Liz, how are you?
I'm just kidding.
Is anybody planning? Like I'm going to be in Texas probably for it. It's on April the 8th of next year. Is anybody planning on traveling for the eclipse to be on the line of reality? Because it comes up through some of the central states, but
what time of the day is it supposed to happen?
Sorry?
What time of the day is it supposed to happen?
It starts around 11 o'clock in the morning and goes to about 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, well I can walk out front and I'm sure I'll see it.
No, you won't, because you won't be in the line totality in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see a partial eclipse is what you'll see, but you won't see the total eclipse there. Yeah, I'd rather see the eclipse than Matt's moon. Yeah, I agree with you, Louise. But I'm planning to be heading to Texas for it.
I gave USPS delivered a box for my wife from her dad from Texas, so I gave her a bottle of water. Whenever a delivery person comes, or usually the garbage man, I'll run them out a bottle of ice water because everybody likes water, especially in the summertime.
Especially there, yeah.
People can't usually go get water; they might be hot and thirsty. So every time I get a driver of any kind that comes out, I'll run them out a bottle. I'll ask them and I'll grab them a bottle of water.
We often don't. We get some weeks that are very, very hot, but it's not a constant for us like it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different.
Right now it's 91 and sunny, so it's pretty warm out right now.
Nice. I wish we had it over here like that, but my wife Louise would not like that.
What?
She likes it warm, but I don't think she likes it too hot, like Las Vegas weather. I think Las Vegas weather is nothing for Louise.
You know how you're cooking an oven and you open the door to get something out of the oven, all that heat hits you? That's how it feels in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to share this, Gary. I'm going to share something.
Wow, yeah, 100% humidity. That's just soaking wet. I hate humidity. You're just wet and sticky.
So this is the path to totality for 2024. So you're way off base, Jerry, for that, right?
Right. Yeah.
But if we zoom in, it's coming right by Michigan, but the chances up here are getting clear skies are going to be small. Around here and by Texas are the greatest chances. So I'm planning on being probably in Gatesville, Texas, which is down near Waco. So that blue line is a center line. I want to be right on that center line.
Okay.
So I'm going to be probably around this area here, around the Lamb Pass area, and somewhere around here is where I'm going to be. That's my goal. I could go like the best chance of clear skies are in Mexico, but I'm not bringing my equipment into Mexico. I'm not crossing that border. No way.
Oh yeah, yeah. It might get stolen, or you might disappear.
Well, I won't. Chances are of me disappearing is slim, but it gets stolen is higher. But yeah, I know some people who are going right down here, right down at right by the coast, so they can see it coming in over the water. But yeah, so I'm probably going to stay in around this area, but I'm going to be setting up just south of Waco. Because I was told as you go further south of Waco, it becomes desert, and you get higher chance of clear skies.
Okay.
So I'm initially planning here, Gatesville, this city here, small town Gatesville.
Well, hopefully there won't be no cloud cover. That way you'll probably see it a week in advance before you go there.
You can't judge weather a week out. 2 days is the most. So I'm looking at there, or I'm looking at Ennis as well. Ennis, Texas as well is another option. But Ennis is it's north of Waco, so there's a chance of it getting cold fronts and weather, no rain. But as you go south of Waco, they said you get a higher chance of clear skies. So I'm thinking Lamb Pass or Gatesville is where I'm thinking of. They're already charging hotels in the area. Really cheap hotels normally are charging $300 or $350 a night because they know people are going to be in the area for the eclipse.
Yeah.
Where are you based, Tech Dad? If it's near your place, like, are you north or like which section of Texas are you? Do you know? We'll be going down as a big group of us. We're probably about 15 or 20 of us there for it.
Take care, Mr. Diesel. Have a great day. Thank you,
man.
Bye, Mr. Diesel.
Oh, you're in Indiana. Okay. Yeah, it does come right over that. It comes right over Indiana, yeah. Let me zoom out. So I don't know where Willow Branch is, but
yeah, in July it'll get up like 116 here in Vegas, 117.
yeah. So in April of this year, April 8th this year, this area here was actually kind of clear. You're going to Chewy? Well, this will be my fourth eclipse, so I know what it feels like to be hooked on these. So I will probably drive down to Texas and be there because I have all my equipment to bring with me. Or you're east of Indy, okay. So the chance of getting clear skies up here is lower. Clear skies here is medium, and down by this area and into Mexico is much higher. But that's why I'm going south Mexico. So it's about our south Texas. So it's about a 9-hour drive for me, or 19-hour drive for me. Sorry, to get there. So I'll probably be coming through your area, Tech Dad, on my way down there.
About 10 years ago, I drove back from Dallas to Vegas. It was like 21 and a half hours straight through, and that was the worst experience of my life.
Really?
About drinking energy drinks. I took some trucker pills from a gas station and the energy drinks.
They're all caffeine. They're the worst things to take.
Yeah, I got really wound up, and then I tried to pull over to fall asleep, and I'm going 100 miles an hour, so I had to keep driving. So
Yeah, that's the worst thing. So I'm as I said, I'm aiming for Gatesville. Let me get up Google Maps for Gatesville. Where is that? That's not there. It's south. It's just south of Wickwood. This is Lamb Pass. Gatesville is around. Oh, I'll find it later. But I'm trying to set up in the they have a like a civil center place set up there, and that's what I'm going to set up. See, I enter here. Gatesville Pictures. There we go.
1 second, I gotta go open this box for my wife. She don't know how to use razor blade.
So my goal is to set up. I can zoom in here. Actually, the path of totality has moved in the last week. They've updated their calculations, and it's shifted a little bit south than where it was before.
Right there on the cross intersection, you can go.
Well, actually, no. There's. I was thinking either going to setting up in there by their school, or they have a civic center. I think this is it here. There's a civic center here with lots of baseball diamonds. I was thinking of setting up in there as well. But the school would be a good spot as long as it doesn't shift south again. The school grounds would be a good spot as well to get it. I haven't looked at Lamb Pass yet, but I'm actually going to look at Lamb Passes also, because that's just over here. It's a slightly bigger town, but it's on the very outer edge of Lamb Pass, so there's not much out there.
All right.
So if anyone's going to be in the area, let me know. Come hang out with me, and there's a whole pile of us going to be there. Other astronomers are going to be there. We'll have a tent set up because we'll have computers running in the tent, linked out with cables running out to our telescopes to drive our telescopes by computer. That's what we did last time, and we got some fantastic images from the last eclipse.
Here's that little CNC that I have that I'm reviewing now. That's an upcut bit. That's why it looks like that.
Oh yeah, for is it plywood? No, pine.
Yeah, that's pine.
Yeah, downcut is better. Yeah.
And here's one that I've seen online. Or actually, here's the files I downloaded. Those aren't the files I downloaded, but see that bottom piece? How it doesn't have a brush? It's just got that round circular piece on it.
Yeah.
I wanted to find that and print that, but I can't find that piece anywhere on any of the sites. When I do a search for it, I can't find it.
That's mine from the last eclipse in 2017. I was in Casper, Wyoming, 26-hour drive to get out there. And that's my diamond ring. That's from my diamond ring from that. And that's what I'm aiming to do again.
Major Gaming Geek, hello. How are you doing today?
So, where from? Oh, I was in Casper, Wyoming.
Hey, Gamer Geek.
I drove out in non-stop 26 hours.
Yeah, Jack, I've been using Carb Code Maker trying to learn it, watching different videos and tutorials and trying to figure it out. So, anyway.
What's the other one I have?
I should have never done that real long carving with this bit. I burned up the tip. The $35 bit worthless now, but yeah, I should have never done it.
Well,
I knew better.
You need to be careful, Jerry, about burning up her tip, right?
Yeah, it's expensive. I should have cleared everything out with the 1/4-inch end mill first, and I didn't. So.
Yeah. Nightbot is an automatic bot that runs in the background that populates messages and so on in the back end.
Yeah, I've got Nightbot running, and then I have whatever else I got running.
Jerry's not real. He's actually put here by Midjourney.
Hey, question, Liam. Jerry said in the back of the printer is like a plate what I need to loosen
up the belts. He wants to tension his belts. You loosen up
two plates. There's two in the back. There's 2 screws in them.
Yeah.
And you loosen the screws, and if you go to the support page, there's a process. You don't want to loosen up the belts. They self tighten themselves, but they stretch over time. When you loosen those screws, there's a process involved. If you go to the support page for Bamboo Labs,
Bamboo Wiki.
they have step by step. So basically, you loosen the screws, you put the head in a certain position, you loosen the screws with it powered off, you move the belt around a few times, you bring it back to that position, you retighten those screws, and you're done. But go to their support site. They have instructions there on their support forums, and it's step by step. It's not hard.
Click on this link right here, Matt. It's in chat, Bamboo Wiki, where they got videos and everything you want.
Yeah.
You probably already have that bookmark, but that's where you need to go.
Yeah, it's good, and they have good info up there. And they have instructions on how to retension their belt. They have videos and also a process to go through. It's not hard. You should do it regularly. I need to do mine actually coming up soon. I've been printing on mine for 3 months now without doing any maintenance on it. I need to do
I've been printing for past 3 weeks, and today I saw a little bit of a shift.
Well, that could be for a reason. Are you printing fast?
No, same speed as always.
Yeah, maybe you need to tension the belts then, and it's an easy process. Just what you have to do when the printer is shut down, take it out, put it on a table, go through the process, put it back in place. Once you put it back in to its table, wherever it's stationed, rerun the calibration on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to do first before I do the belt, I do the recalibration.
No,
because
belt first. Belt first.
No. Wait a second. Listen to me. Because
I got your email, Roger. Thank you.
I did move the printer 3 times, and then I moved it up from down here, up here, and then from there to there.
Every time you move it, you have to do it because your input shaping that it's going to calibrate.
Oh, that's probably why it's off. It started happening when I put the printer up there.
That wouldn't cause a shift.
No, it's not a shift really. It's hard to describe. I mean, just look at it. It's the yellow one.
What's wrong?
It's silk filament. One's PLA, one's silk. The silk doesn't look so great. And I think it's just because of the filament.
It could be the filament too, yeah.
Yeah. But, it's what it seems.
If the print on the Bamboo Labs doesn't look perfect, something's wrong. At least on my X1 Carbon, and when I print anything, it's like, wow, I'd buy that at a store. It looks like, wow, that's perfect. It doesn't look like, it's 3D printed. It looks perfect.
So I think I should do another setting of what you just said.
But you might as well do the belts first and then do it once. So take it out of there, do the belts, put it back in, run the calibration, and you're done. Rather than doing it multiple times by doing it now, then you have to do it again after you put the printer back in, after doing your belts.
Yeah, I just do first the calibration. I have time on my hand. That's not a problem.
I'm just trying to get it to optimize your time.
I know. Thank you.
What time you got to be to work Monday, Matt?
Whenever time I feel like it.
What work? He doesn't have work.
I know. I just want to see what it says.
No.
That's a dirty 4-letter word.
But whenever I like to feel like it.
Yeah, no, I start early in the mornings. My son has 2 more weeks left of school, and he's out for summer.
Yeah, quality is amazing.
Summer school or summer job?
Well, he's got he's got 2 more weeks left of school, and then they're down for the summer. They're on summer vacation.
Going forward, any and all printers I ever review, if it's something that I actually can use, I compare to the Bamboo quality.
I wouldn't do that. Personally, I wouldn't. Because different machines have different characteristics, and I wouldn't say, if you compare them everything to the Bamboo, everything's going to pale in comparison.
Well, yeah. Your P1P, you had nothing but headaches and lines and
And
problems.
it still has that problem. But I've found ways to mitigate them.
Yeah.
I'm still using it, but I found ways to mitigate it. But no, I would say like you're talking about a Core XY against a Cartesian. There's no comparison. Especially on speed, you can, and the Cartesian will never print as fast as Core XY. And you're going to have artifacts on a Cartesian that you won't have on a Core XY. But saying that, on a Core XY, you're going to have artifacts because the belts can implement artifacts on a print as well.
What are we looking at, Matt?
You're looking at my print, what I'm doing now, the green ones.
What are they?
The little turtles, what I showed you. Those ones.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Stephen, mine still has problems with mine, but I found ways to mitigate it. By changing the orientation of my parts, instead of being with the front of the part, the flat face being on the x-axis, I've actually tilted all the parts of the print, so there's never a flat face on the face that actually has that has a print problem.
Yeah, I'm
So I
personally
mitigated
madder than
the
hell this happened. It failed at 98, 97, 98%. Had a little bit to go. Spaghetti detection did work. It had a few strings up top here, like a few layers that were like bunched up together, rectangular. So I pulled them off, hit resume. It's printing up in the air. So it's like, yeah, I can't finish a print. But I have no idea why it happened. It was printing perfect, and then it didn't. So as soon as I cleared the bed, I loaded these two files up, and they finished and printed perfect. And they're much brighter than you can see on camera. It's the Spruce in orange. 3D Print World, they donated a couple rolls to me. I ordered them, and then the following weekend we gave a couple away, and Tripod won it. And hopefully he already ordered it and got it. I don't know if he did or not. But yeah, it printed beautiful. I don't know why I had a fail here though. So. That'll be for a cyclone dust collector that Tom Lama designed. And he threw it up on, I think, Printables. Is where it's at, or Thingiverse. Anybody in chat like to drop in and hang out or have any questions, please feel free to ask. Please like, subscribe on whatever platform you're watching. We're live on YouTube and on Twitch. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. On Twitch, I've only got like 7 subs on Twitch at the moment, but I only stream once a week, so I understand. Not a problem.
I'll be dropping off in a small while, Jerry, because I need to get this video done, and I need to take care of my dog as well. She needs to get out.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let me do a raid. Well, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 7 minutes. Got 33 people watching. I won't be streaming for 4 hours today. Let me see who's out there that we can raid.
You know to drop out because I am.
Well, I don't want to be talking chat by myself. We don't have a lot of people on camera.
You be chatting with Matt. Are you saying Matt's boring?
Oh, I'm not
Matt
boring.
Matt wasn't here last week.
I consider myself as entertaining, a little bit of a joker. And
come on, that was funny. That.
That's not funny. You Germans are not funny.
Oh no,
right.
yeah.
Well,
we don't take funny things.
I know it has to be
2 hours and 8 minutes is better than 0 hours and 8 minutes. So I'm gonna raid in those watching on Twitch. I'm gonna raid into MakerDeck, and those on YouTube will be saying goodbye. And I'll be back next Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific, as always. And I'll try to get some more videos out of my CNC and my resin printer as soon as possible. I've got a few things I'm working on. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
All righty. Here goes the raid on Twitch, and I'll run my exit on YouTube. So raid starting on Twitch, people. We're raiding in MakerDeck. It's a wonderful community.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Ciao, guys.
And the raid is going here in like 5 seconds. Almost. There goes the raid. And let me run my outro. Take care, everybody. Have an awesome day.
Bye.